Welcome to English Audio Club. Today, I have a true story that will stay with you long after the video ends. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy mysterious real-life stories told in English. Let's get into it. This story happened a few summers ago, when I was still living with my parents in a quiet little neighborhood called Brookmere. I was 17 at the time, who just finishing high school and spending my days in a peaceful routine. My parents were the type who were always around. They kept the house clean, paid attention to every little thing, and rarely ever left town, especially not both of them at the same time. But that weekend was different. Out of nowhere, they decided to go on a short trip together, just the two of them, and they left me home alone. That by itself felt strange. I couldn't remember even one time when they had both gone away like that. The house felt quiet in a new way, not just empty, but almost like it was holding its breath. At first, I was surprised. Then I realized something. I had the house to myself. No rules, no one checking in, no curfews. That kind of freedom is rare when you're a teenager, and I knew I had to make the most of it. So I texted my girlfriend at the time, her name was Lena, and asked if she wanted to come over and spend the weekend with me. Of course, she said yes. Lena was full of energy. She was always laughing and always doing something unexpected. She was fun to be around, but also a little unpredictable. That wild energy made things exciting between us, but it also meant we didn't always see eye to eye. Still, we were good together, at least for a while. When she got to my house that night, the sun had already gone down, and the backyard had that warm summer glow. The pool lights were on, that making the water shimmer under the dark sky. As soon as she saw it, she smiled wide. "Let's skinny dip," she said, like it was no big deal. I blinked. What? What if the neighbors see us? She rolled her eyes and smiled like I was being too serious. "Come on," she said. "This is one of those nights we'll never get again." I hesitated, but after she teased me a little and laughed in that way she always did, I gave in. We dropped our clothes, grabbed our towels, and slid into the warm pool water. It was quiet and cool outside, and the water felt perfect. We splashed around, joked, and looked up at the stars. It felt free, like nothing could touch us in that moment. The pool was right outside the living room, and the big glass windows stretched almost from the floor to the ceiling. With the house lights on and the yard in darkness, the windows looked like giant glowing screens showing off the inside of the house, almost like a stage. You could see everything. That peaceful feeling didn't last long. While Lena was talking, I glanced over my shoulder toward the windows. That's when I saw something, a dark shape moving inside the house. At first, I thought I was imagining it. But then it moved again, slowly, and clearly across the living room. Someone was walking inside. Someone who shouldn't be there. My stomach dropped. I didn't want to freak Lena out, but I had to do something. I leaned in close and said softly, "We need to get out." Quietly. She didn't question me. We both climbed out fast, wrapped ourselves in our towels, and I told her to go hide in the pool shed. I said to keep the lights off and stay quiet. She nodded and hurried off without a sound. Now I was alone, walking slowly toward the house, and trying not to panic. My heart was racing. Every step I took felt heavier than the last. I opened the kitchen door carefully and stepped inside. The house looked the same. I went straight to the counter and grabbed a kitchen knife. I didn't really know what I would do with it, but I felt like I needed something to protect myself. As I started walking through the house, I began to notice small things that were out of place. A dining chair that had been pulled out slightly. A photo on the wall tilted at a weird angle. A coffee mug sitting on the counter. I hadn't used a mug all day. Nothing was broken. Nothing was stolen. But it didn't feel right. These little details were quiet signs that someone had been there, or still was. The house felt off. It was like a stranger had walked through and left just enough of a trace to unsettle everything. It didn't feel like a normal break-in. Nothing was stolen. Nothing was trashed. It just felt wrong. Like someone had been there not to take things, but just to be there, like they belonged. I searched every room on the ground floor. I checked doors, windows and everything. All the locks were still in place. No broken glass. No forced entry. Nothing looked like it had been touched from the outside. And yet, I knew something was off. After a while, I stopped trying to act like I wasn't scared. My nerves were completely shot. I picked up my phone and called the police. They arrived fast. 2 officers walked through the whole house, checked every corner, and even looked around the backyard and the front lawn. But they didn't find anything. No signs of someone breaking in. No footprints. No damaged locks. One officer said maybe I scared the person off before they could do anything. I nodded, but deep down, I didn't believe that. It didn't feel like someone trying to rob us. It felt like someone had been watching, waiting, and had finally stepped inside. It was already late, and neither of us felt safe. So Lena and I packed some clothes and went to her cousin's place nearby. We slept there that night, even though neither of us got much rest. To this day, I never found out who it was, or how they got in. But I still remember the way that shadow moved through the living room, like it had every right to be there. It wasn't rushed or nervous. It just walked, calm and slow. That night stayed with me. The next night, after the police had left and we returned to my house, we didn't want to be there. But we had no choice. We made sure to lock every door and window. I even shoved a chair under the bedroom doorknob, just in case. We lay in bed, barely talking, and trying to sleep. I don't think either of us really did. Then, at around 4 in the morning, I woke up. At first, everything was quiet. But then I heard it, soft creaking above us. Footsteps. I tried to tell myself it was just the house settling. Old houses make noise sometimes. But these weren't random creaks. These were steps. Slow, steady, careful. Someone was walking on the floor above us. The sound moved, not away, but toward the stairs. Each step creaked louder as it got closer. Then I heard the steps start coming down. My body froze for a second. Then adrenaline kicked in. I reached for the kitchen knife I had placed next to the bed earlier. I whispered to Lena not to move. She stayed still, her eyes wide. I ran out of the room quietly, barefoot on the wooden floor. But when I got to the front door, I stopped cold. It was wide open. Whoever had been there was already gone. This time, I didn't bother calling the police. What would I even say? Nothing was broken, and no one was there anymore. I just closed the door, locked it, and sat down on the couch. I stayed there for hours, watching the shadows outside and listening to every little sound, waiting for something, or someone, to come back. The next morning, we noticed something strange. Actually, it was terrifying. All the kitchen knives were gone. Not just the one I'd carried. All of them. The drawer was empty. Some other things were missing too, a few electronics, some cash, a couple of old watches. But that wasn't what scared me the most. It was the knives. It felt like someone had left a message, a silent warning, a threat. When my parents came home, and I told them everything, I expected them to be angry or not believe me. But instead, they stayed calm. Too calm, honestly. They believed me, but they didn't ask many questions. That silence only made everything feel weirder. Years have passed, but I still think about that weekend all the time. The open door. The quiet footsteps. The way nothing seemed broken, but everything felt touched. The missing knives. The fact that someone had been in the house, maybe more than once, and was never caught. That's what really gets to me. They were inside. And no one knows how.